think day one was as expected, a full visit of OEMs and a lot of interest in the products what we have. And I think as a first day, normally it is not that rush, but this time it is different. I think the electrification that being the theme and co-creation what is being talked about as a theme from the Prime Minister's office, I think everybody is trying to do that, and we are trying to understand industry and the supplier base. We're trying to understand each other.
So again, thanks a lot for having me here and having BorgWarner here with Motor India. Here we are represented by all the business units. We have 4 business units. So I come from Power Drive Systems. We are showcasing our power electronic products for electrification, like high voltage inverters, chargers and converters. Then we have our flagship integrated drive module, which integrates the electric motor, inverter and the gearbox. And we are also showcasing some of our motor winding technologies, high performance inverters, and also special application inverters. So that's pretty much the product portfolio that PDS is showcasing here at Motor India. Over to you.
Yeah, so again, we were there at the motor show also, and happy to see a launch of a lot of EVs, and we were also excited that few of those EVs are having the components, our own components of TTT, and already getting launched. So high voltage cooler liters, what we have displayed here in as our product. So that makes our beginning in the EV product selling, and then we understanding also other customers' requirement and discussing about the localization plan, which happens to be forte here for any other business unit representing in India. So we are trying to see how the volumes are evolving, how the business is there, and collaborating with the customers. So it was a very good interaction.
Yeah, and especially for EV, right? I'm from battery systems, battery and charging systems. We're presenting our new LFP battery pack that we're just developing, starting the production in Europe in 27 and now offering to India with localization here. In India, we think LFP technology will bring a huge step forward to come closer to the challenging cost focus that commercial vehicle electrification with battery sees in India. So we are very happy to show that here. There was a lot of interest yesterday already, that people are asking, okay, when do you localize, right? We see that all the time. That of course, as we knew already, industrialization in India for Indian customers, for trucks and buses that we're focusing on is key. And we can do that with our huge and great footprint in India, bringing in battery systems and having hopefully a great future with Indian customers for bus and trucks. Yeah, how we cooperate with the OEMs? Yeah, so I think for us, as we're focusing on commercial vehicle with our battery systems, we do not focus on passenger car, right? For us, it's really globally and also in India, it's really the easiest way to electrify if you take buses, city buses, right? There are cities that has a high interest in getting the pollution out of the cities, doing some subsidies, right, to attract the OEMs to electrify their fleets, and that's the point where they really engage to talking to us to see, okay, what is a collaboration with BorgWarner that we can find to have a high speed and a high maturity level of electrifying our fleets as soon as possible. And with our LFP batteries that we developing in collaboration with our strategic partner Findreams Battery, which is BYD, right? We have a very high maturity level, so we can offer a product that will come to production very soon, very fast after nomination. We can offer a valid time plan to really make sure on customer side that they can take our promises as realistic when they can electrify their fleets.
So if he talked about the showcase, what the major attraction if you talk about the new LFP batteries, and second thing, localization, the drive, and the current business unit getting represented in manufacturing base here has that as a focus area always, and the same is going to continue. The only thing, industry, government and the supplier base, I think we are in the evolving phase. Now everybody is getting the feel of the numbers, and I think from here onward things are going to change drastically. So probably next time we meet, we'll have more products already launched. That is the expectation with which we are here in this, and that's the kind of feeler we are getting from the customers, and very good engagements, and maybe more meetings will be happening after this business meeting. But it is very promising now.
Yeah, to just add, so with our power drive systems product portfolio, the key differentiator that we have is the range that our product portfolio can serve. So we have systems which can serve for low power 74 kilowatt, 70 kilowatt systems up to 500 kilowatt systems. So that's kind of the range we have. So with that range and scale, it also helps us to kind of like be attractive for OEMs to work with us, so that if they are really looking for a product from us, say for example a small car, that product can be scalable also to the premium variant and for the supercar. So that's one of the key differentiators that we bring. Having said that, PDS has power drive systems has not localized yet in India, and that's why some of our top leadership this year to understand the market, understand the customers. So yesterday has been a great lesson or a learning session for them to hear from the customers what their expectation is. And I think one common theme across all OEMs is localization, and that's kind of the key message and affirmation that localization is an enabler for us to be more into Indian OEMs and having our products more into the cars here. So that's kind of the next step that we want to take, and that message has been loud and clear for us. And in the next auto show, hopefully we're having our products already in many of the vehicles around. We have been very successful globally in US and in Europe as well as in China. So India is the next for us to focus, and as we have taken step by step, this is our next region for us to really get into the market and also dominate the market. We are working on it, but we will be able to share more sooner than later.
He's talking about manufacturing plant probably, but this is the first time BorgWarner has taken a step. But before a product is launched, we have a tech center in Bangalore. So I think last time when we met, we said we have a plan. Correct. And this time the tech center is working. You can elaborate more probably.
Right, so that's one of the first things we did. 4 years back, we started a tech center here. Started with 60 engineers, now we have 500 plus engineers. And if we include the strategic partners we have in engineering, we are close to 800 engineers here in India. So as they say, if you get 6 days to cut a tree, you spend first day sharpening the axe, and that's what we have been doing. And we have a very strong foundation now with our engineering organization. It started as a software organization, now it's having all facets of engineering represented, from system, software, hardware development, high voltage circuit analysis, mechanical simulation analysis, system analysis. We have a full validation lab. We just have commissioned a high voltage dyno. So we have full engineering capability here. So that many of the OEMs have already voiced that they see as a key differentiator, that doing local engineering, and one of the key messages again was frugal engineering, right? And that's where our Indian engineers are already there. So it's a question of just for us to be with them in a proper business where local engineering can serve the needs of the OEMs on site.
And just another point to all electrification wise, India probably still at much lower volumes and nascent stage, what you call it. And this has been the case in the past also with all ICE or other products also. The advantage at this point what we carry and that is enjoyed later by the customers also is we have a global strength available, experience available, and it's very easy to replicate here, and that is what has been the strength of BorgWarner in India, and that's how we have developed our business also in India. So I think any business unit you take, any product of BorgWarner you take, it always has a history already. The learning curve is already there outside India, and it's easy to replicate here and localize. That will give momentum to the whole process, right? Yeah. That's where the engagement has to start, collaboration has to start with the customers, at much more deeper level and more futuristic plans.
I think I can just add to what Sudhir was mentioning before. We have been acting with a sense of entrepreneurship. We have not been waiting for customers to come and say, okay, I will give you business. Then we wanted to invest in engineering. As I said, we have been laying out that foundation, and that's definitely one of the biggest USPs we have. If you really ask what other has to be ticked, I think manufacturing in all the business units is an area where we got to tick. We already have manufacturing in like the T3 business unit and the Morse DMS business unit. But I think BCS and PDS, we are not at there, but that's definitely on the cards. So I think the boxes that have to be ticked are going to be ticked pretty soon. It's not like we're going to leave it empty, and with a strong engineering background and with the foot on the ground workforce that we have here from different facets of sales, marketing, manufacturing, purchasing. So we are pretty much like already getting ready to be successful here. So it's just a matter of time where all of our business units are going to be represented to the fullest extent in India.
So localization is the buzzword, and we have to live up to that expectation very fast, and we are in the process.
So we call our tech center as GCC, Global Capability Center. So we are catering to projects across the globe, in Europe, in US, and in China as well. And it's very interesting that when we are in Bangalore and the Daimler Tech Center is stone's throw away, we get sometimes kind of like requests from Daimler that, okay, we are doing this testing in India, and we could send our Indian engineers to the Daimler Indian Tech Center to really collaborate and work. So almost like today, 95% of our workforce is working for our global programs. And with that, we have built the capabilities that are needed, which can be then in turn be used for engineering for the local market.
And just to answer on that, I think in the past also I explained about BorgWarner way of working operations system is LAGS. It's not an English lag word. It is a local accountability global strength. When I say local accountability, here plants are responsible for application engineering. So when you see other companies, multinational, where maybe centralized R&D is sitting there and they're directing here the local plants are having their own application engineers trained at tech centers and supporting locally. That means they have their own validation labs apart from the tech center, which is really R&D work, but application engineer with the validation labs are there in the plant for their products. Any of the plants which are operating now, they have their own validation. So really speaking, we don't have to start from scratch. In the past products or ICE, we were following this, and I don't think anything will be different when it comes down to electrification, hybrid or electrification for both. So one is localization, speed to the market also is important. For that, you have to have a local engineer. That's very important.
And two additional initiatives we have driven is that our global leadership for software is sitting in Bangalore. So they are kind of like driving the global software teams from Bangalore. And our global platform engineering also is based out of Bangalore, and they're leading the whole platform development globally. So we have also kind of identified key leadership talent here in India to really drive the global organization. That speaks a lot about the quality of talent and the level of talent that's already available here.
So for me, personally, there's absolutely no question mark on the if. Maybe on the when, and that's globally sometimes different, right? We see a reduction in pull in the market in Europe and North America at the moment because of uncertainties in politics, in subsidy programs, whatever. Although that could lead to a shift to 1 year later in the one or the other market. But the if, I think, is not a question. And I think if we look between battery electrification and other options, like, as you said, hydrogen, ICE things, everything can happen, but the steps in battery electric energy density were quite big in the last 3 to 4 years. There will come more. I don't look so much to solid state batteries, that is also a buzzword, right? And every time that it's 2-3 years later. But even the given chemistries, NMC, LFP, they're improving so much. Our LFP battery system now is really condensing the 100 kilowatt hour to nearly the same space as NMC. Though I think we have already reached a level where we can electrify heavy-duty trucks for a mileage of 400 or 500 kilometers per charge, right? Which is a lot compared to 4 years ago. And so for me personally, there's no question mark, and the timing depends on a lot of politics and subsidies and market drive from customer side.
Yeah, in India, I think the prime focus which is driven by the government is to reduce fuel import, right? Fossil fuel import. So I think these things are going to coexist. Electrification is not, it may be the final solution someday, but I think hybrid, electric and ICE all are there with alternate fuels also. So good part is many of the current product what we are selling in ICE, when you go to hybrid, they are still relevant. They are must, I would say, even in the hydrogen ICE. So we don't see a challenge there, but BorgWarner started thinking, I think way back on a policy of CHE, where we said combustion, hybrid, electric, whichever the market moves, our product should be there, and that's why organically, inorganically we have added those gaps which we had in our portfolio, and today we are, I think, right from charging station to battery and motors, it's there in our product portfolio, which is very comprehensive, and we can give the solution to any of the fuel systems what industry want to use. So that way we have a very robust solutions available for customers. I think 2025 is, it may be the last few years were real good, steep growth, but I think it will be stabilization period because some uncertainties were there, whether electrification is happening, hybrids are going to take place. So it's going to be that way, but I think still 3 to 5% growth rate, I think still is a good estimate to have. And I think we don't have to really worry about 25 in terms of numbers. We already have awarded business in the numbers, but we have to win more for the future, securing our future.
So, as Sudhir has mentioned earlier, our product portfolio is extremely resilient. Taken hybrid, you will use the same electrification components on a BEV, on a hybrid, just at a lower power rating. And you will also be using your ICE components. So, we have a pretty resilient product portfolio. In 2025, I would expect globally there's going to be more regionalization of powertrains. If you look at China, they are like all the new vehicle registrations are like 55% are new energy vehicles. Range extenders are getting a huge push in the market. Europe and US are taking it slow, and there is also a lot of geopolitical changes that are being expected. We are going to have a new president in the US taking over tomorrow. So with that, there is policies that are going to come in. A little bit of unpredictability is there. So one of the areas where we have that unpredictability is also within our business, but nevertheless with the resilient product portfolio, we are like a seesaw. One goes down, the other will go up, the other goes down, or at least both are at the same level. So we have a very balanced and resilient product portfolio. So 2025 will be again a year of growth. Our leadership is driving for growth. We have clear targets already set for 2030, and we are just going to be traveling that journey. And just to wrap up, I think a clean, energy efficient world, which is our vision, is the very necessity. Irrespective of how the markets grow, we cannot deny the fact that global warming is true, and every nation is trying to fight it, and we are just having the right vision and on board to really ensure that we are part of this journey and we're going to be successful in this journey.
Yeah, I think Chandra said it. Resilience is a keyword, right? So if I look from battery side to the market, it will be a tough year in 2025. You saw it in 24 already. A lot of our competitors, a lot of battery companies set projects on hold that they announced 2 years ago. New factory here, there, right? And everybody said, oh, we need to wait a little bit. And resilience is a keyword, and it's so strong in BorgWarner due to the fact that the colleagues described. We can do everything. And of course, it hurts me as a battery guy if it's later, but it doesn't hurt us too much as a company. Since then, okay, we go into hybrid a little bit more, into combustion engine, whatever, And the message is we are there. We have a good product portfolio. We went through the valley of our first launch in battery, and now we have a great production running very smooth, high quality. Though as soon as the market taking off again, as soon as new markets taking off like India, we are there. We can step in, and as long as we have to wait a little bit for that, we will have our business in other fields.